So here's the bright side for the young Phillies fans and for the ball club itself. Yes, they are young. They're 11-11 here in the month of August. Now, Pete Mackanin said after last night's ball game it was embarrassing to see what the Mets did to the Phillies pitching. They hope today that they can stabilize things. It's the finale of the three-game series between the Phils and the New York Mets. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy along with Ben Davis. All right, so the Mets offense has suddenly gotten hot in this series against the Phillies. Now, there were individuals like Asdrubal Cabrera and Yoenis Cespedes who were very good statistically coming into this series. But now everybody else has kind of taken the mantle. The Mets are just hitting a lot of home runs and scoring a lot of runs in this series.
They sure are, and they feel very, very comfortable at home plate right now. Even if they get down 0-2, they're battling back into counts. You saw it with Neil Walker twice last night. 0-2 counts, battled back, eventually got a walk. But Asdrubal Cabrera has been a thorn in the Phillies' side. Two of these three home runs that we're going to see here are opposite field, and that means he's very comfortable seeing the ball well out over the plate.
All right, so he's a switch hitter, so being comfortable from both sides of the plate, it's probably saying something. This is the other opposite field shot. This was yesterday's game, gave the Mets a 2-1 lead, and they never looked back from there.
Yeah, and to be able to hit a ball that far the opposite way means you are comfortable out over the plate, and you're looking for pitches out there. Now, Wilmer Flores the other night was able to get a first pitch changeup up in the zone off Adam Morgan. He deposited for a grand slam. And then the very next night, last night, Kelly Johnson pinch hit grand slam. These guys are way too comfortable in the box, Tom.
Kelly Johnson will get the start today for the Mets at second base. He has 4 pinch home runs already this year. All right, so the offensive outburst for this series, 24 hits. It's nowhere near the record for hits against the Phils if you're a Mets team. That was back in 1998. But runs, they're only 4 away. Home runs, they're only 4 away. And grand slams, well, they hit 2 grand slams earlier this season against the Phils in that series in April. All right, so who is going to neutralize the New York Mets offense? Well, it's 24-year-old right-hander Vince Velasquez.
You hope he can do that and at least salvage one game out of this 3-game series. But like Pete Mackanin says, it was an embarrassing loss last night. I think Vince Velasquez will rise to the occasion today.
So this was a start in April here at Citi Field. And here, he was missing his spots with his fastball, but he had a really good fastball. They couldn't catch up.
It was electric, and he dotted a few here and there. He did have a couple good curveballs, but the fastball was electric, able to throw it by these Mets hitters at will.
That's one of the things that really stood out early in the season is the fact that his fastball was electric. It hasn't been recently. That day, he had 6 innings, 9 strikeouts, and did not allow a run. So today, they're hoping for the same kind of line. And the Phils can get out of Dodge with at least one victory against the New York Mets. It'll be Velasquez making his 23rd start. Robert Gesellman will make his first major league start for the New York Mets. When we return, we'll go to the CSN studios. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. By Toyota, the annual clearance sale is going on now. Toyota, let's go places. By Citizens Bank, the next time you have a question about money, don't keep it to yourself. Ask a citizen. And by Independence Blue Cross, live fearless. Learn more at IBX.com. have already been exchanged at home plate. Robert Gesellman is just now beginning his warm-up tosses. That's because of a few ceremonial first pitches, which included Nelson Figueroa, the former Phil and the former New York Met, who's on the playing field as we speak right now, just finishing up his first pitch. Pete Mackanin, he's trying to find some semblance of offense, but he said even more importantly than that, he said we need our pitching staff to kind of figure some things out because the pitching staff has struggled so much during the month of August. Let's take a look at Pete's lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. Tommy Joseph is back in the starting lineup, batting cleanup and is over at first base. Jimmy Paredes starts for the second consecutive day. He's in left field. And then A.J. Ellis will make his Phillies debut. He'll bat seventh for the Phils, and he will get a chance to catch Vince Velasquez. And they're looking forward to that to see if he can maybe help Velasquez along. They'll face right-hander Robert Gesellman, who is making his first major league start. He was a starting pitcher in the minor leagues. He's a drafted player by the Mets. Obviously not as heralded as some of the other guys they've had in their system. But those were his numbers his last time when he replaced Jonathan Neese when Neese injured his knee. And this is the scouting report on Robert Gesellman.
Well, his dad was in the Phil's farm system. He's got a very good fastball, electric fastball, change curve slider. But he likes that fastball and will use it to the tune of 62.7% of the time, backed up by his curveball.
Time now for our Nissan keys to the game. Ben, take it away.
Well, after the last couple games, it's imperative that they double up inside with their pitches. And after they double up, triple up inside. These Mets hitters are extremely comfortable out over the plate. And I'd like to see a little bit more production from the middle of the lineup. Guys at the top are doing their job. They're getting on, but I'd like to see the guys in the middle drive them in.
All right, just the middle of the lineup that it's currently built right now. Franco, Joseph, and Altair, 2 for 20 in this series. Cesar Hernandez leads it off, bunts it foul, and it's 0-1, so we're underway. Cesar trying to challenge Jose Reyes. Cesar 293, 5 homers, 33 runs batted in. He is 1 for 7 with a double in this series. And that ball is ripped into right field, and that is a good way to start. So he's aboard now for Odubel Herrera.
That's what I'm saying. The top is doing their thing, and in the middle of the lineup, I'd like to see them drive them in.
Well, Odubel's 3 for 8 so far in the series. One of his 3 hits is a double. He's also scored a run. Phillies with 45 runs scored in the first inning of games this year. A bunt toward third. It's a beauty of a bunt. Reyes barehands and throws. What a play by James Loney to get it on the backhand and hang on to the bag. It'll go down as a sacrifice for Odubel Herrera, and Loney comes up limping. That is a remarkably gifted first baseman over there.
He's excellent. I don't know if he got spiked or he just rolled at his ankle. We'll take a look here.
He was definitely on the bag. Watch the replay. His foot is on it right there, and then he slipped off. And I think his other foot, not the one that was on the bag, his other foot is the one that got clipped by Odubel Herrera.
I'm surprised Reyes fielded that with his bare hand because it was bunted so hard. I know Odubel can run, but it was bunted so hard it was almost like a ground ball as opposed to a bunt.
Well, nonetheless, the Phils have a runner in scoring position for Maikel Franco, who's hit at 9 of 11, but is 1 for 8 in this series. Takes outside. He shows bunt. Why? I do not know.
Look cool.
Maybe because the other 2 guys did it. See his struggles with runners in scoring position. It was just 3 weeks ago that we were talking about him leading the team in that category, and he pops it up over toward first base. Loney says he has it. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Greg Polini of Mount Laurel. Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game. Then Greg will win $100. McDonald's mix and match any 2 for just $2.50 on McDonald's McPick 2 menu.
Good luck, Gregory.
Tommy Joseph, the hitter. Joseph 0 for 2 in this series. Hitting .222 in the month of August with 3 home runs. Takes a fastball on the inside corner.
See, he's got a very good arm.
Well, he's 6'4", listed at 205. Might be a little bit bigger than that. Former 13th round selection in the 2011 draft, a high schooler. He was the Mets minor league pitcher of the year last year, when he went 13-7 and had an ERA of just over 2.
And I see he goes to the same barber as DeGrom and Syndergaard.
I wonder if there's a correlation to it. Tapper foul. He has a sinker, which is his best pitch, and you just saw it right there, in on the hands of Tommy Joseph.
He got in on the hands of Maikel Franco.
Well, speaking of DeGrom's hair,
it's remarkable.
Yeah. I can't do it, so 2-2 to Tommy Joseph.
Nice looking slider there. That had some bite to it at 90 miles an hour.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Another Tapper foul, and it remains 2-2. This is only the 10th start in the month of August for Tommy Joseph, which means he's played in less than half the games as a starter. He has been in more games. He comes in late, even if he's not in the starting lineup. Ryan Howard's playing time has gone up over the last few weeks because his numbers have been better. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Tried to hold up, did he? They appeal, and he did not go around, says Lance Barksdale. 3-2.
I thought that was pretty close. It was.
Strong hands. Swing and a miss. 95-mile-an-hour fastball. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left in scoring position for the Phils. We'll move to the bottom of the first. Phillies nothing. Mets coming up. League wild card race. The Cardinals lost last night, so the Pirates are a game and a half out. Miami's a game and a half out, and Terry Collins' Mets 2.5 games out. Let's take a look at the Mets lineup, brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way You Experience TV. So Jay Bruce, 4 strikeouts in game 1. Well, he bats cleanup today. De Aza makes his 2nd straight start for the Mets in center field. Darno is back in there doing the catching. He'll bat 8th, and they'll face Phillies right-hander Vince Velasquez. Velasquez 8-6 on the year, making his 23rd start. 137 strikeouts and 119 innings of work. So Jose Reyes will lead it off. Reyes 5 for 9 in the series. And it's 1 ball and no strikes.
Scouting report on Vince. You know about the fastball. Uses the change, curve, and slider pretty much even percentage wise, but last 7 starts not too good. 0-4 with a 6.25 ERA.
And he's not alone with that earned run average that's up over 6. The Phillies starters in August have an ERA of 7.26. Reyes' numbers better over the last 9 games, 395. Two balls and 1 strike to Velasquez. Three and 1. Are you interested at all to see A.J. Ellis and how he handles Velasquez today?
I'm just anxious to see how much Vince shakes him off. Obviously, this is the first time with him catching Vince. Still have to go with his strengths.
Pulled to the right side. He threw him a changeup on that pitch, the 3-2 offering. Well, one thing that has been solid has been the Phillies defense. Let's take a look at our cold hard fact, brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. Phillies have played 9 straight games without making an error. It's the longest errorless streak since 2014. They've also played 32 straight games without making more than 1 error. Their last 2-error game was July 21st, Cody Ashley and Freddie Galvis. Galvis, well, he's gone 30 straight games without committing an error. He has been solid, and everybody that has seen him for the first time thinks the same thing, that if he stays at shortstop, he could win a Gold Glove in the foreseeable future.
I would not doubt it.
There's Drupal Cabrera, the batter. 3 home runs in the series, and he bunts toward third. Velasquez off the mound, bare hands, fires high off the glove of Joseph, and Cabrera holding his arm. Ray Ramirez immediately goes out. The athletic trainer for the Mets, Terry Collins, is there as well.
You know, the Mets are holding their breath right now. All the injuries they've sustained this season.
Well, it is a 6-game hitting streak. Looks like he jammed his arm into the midsection of Tommy Joseph. He's trying to brace himself, it looked like, for the contact.
Yeah. He's saying it's his forearm. Maybe he just caught it on the hip bone of Tommy Joseph.
Pete just went over to talk to Ted Barrett. I'm not sure if Pete thought that Cabrera was in the way of Tommy Joseph, which I don't think he was, or if he thought that Cabrera took a step towards second.
You know, Vince made that a lot closer than I thought. That was a heck of a bunt.
Still surprised he did it, though.
The way he's been swinging the bat.
Yeah. Here's Kelly Johnson, who had a grand slam as a pinch hitter last night. Takes outside. Johnson, 293 with 8 home runs for the Mets. He's always hit the Phillies well, whether it be with the Braves or with the New York Mets or whoever else he plays for. He has 4 pinch hit home runs. He's 1 away from the Mets record for the single season. I mean, he's been a good pickup.
Yes. Yes, he has. Anytime you can have a guy coming off the bench with these numbers, 254, 9, and 27, to spell one of your starters, one of your everyday guys, it's really not taking a bat out of the lineup.
Little tapper foul, 2-1. Well, here's the blast last night, and it was a blast.
And Michael Marriott tries to get this ball in. It just runs out over the plate. Kelly Johnson deposits it well out of here in the right center.
How about Michael Marriott's earned run average after yesterday, up to 9.
Yeah.
Ted Barrett's the crew chief. You'll hear him behind the plate. That's Barksdale over at first. And a base hit to right field for Kelly Johnson. Cabrera stops at second. Back-to-back singles. And that puts runners on first and second with 1 man down.
Quite a few off-speed pitches here by Vince in the first inning. Did on Reyes to lead the ball game off. 3-2 changeup. Does it again here to Johnson. I think Cabrera's going to have to come out of this ball game.
Yeah, this is the second trip out to second base to talk to him. I mean, at this point, you might as well just take him out as precaution. Now he looks like he's limping, doesn't he?
He does.
So he will exit. And we'll see if they put Flores in. Or if, well, we'll just wait and see what they do. They can move Reyes over to shortstop if they need to. Jay Bruce is due up. Maybe everybody else was in the clubhouse and they weren't ready to play.
You'd hope that's not the case. Here comes Flores.
Yeah. One with Flores.
Think he got the ketchup and mustard off from his.
My assumption is that he was in the dugout with sneakers on and did not have his spikes on. Jay Bruce, the batter. Bruce 0 for 4 in game 1 with 4 strikeouts. It has not gone well for him since being acquired from the Cincinnati Reds. In fact, he has played now. This is his 23rd game. He has 23 strikeouts in his previous 22 games as a Met. Takes a fastball outside, 1-0. Good part of the year. He was the National League leader in runs batted in. He has 86. 2-0. Keep an eye on AJL, see where he sets up. I don't know if Vince is intending to try to get to the outer edge of the plate or if he's just missing that way.
He's just missing arm side right now.
Jay Bruce may have helped him out there. 2-1. Bruce, since the trade, is 2 home runs as a Met, a 160 batting average. Two and 2. catch by that guy who brought his glove to the ballpark today. Today's game is also available in Spanish. Just use the SAP button on your television or change the language through the menu on your cable box. Another foul ball. He stays alive. 2-2. Curtis Granderson waits on deck against Velasquez.
It's hard to throw him an off-speed pitch here because he is so late on this fastball, which makes me believe that maybe try and get one in on his hands. If he's that late on the pitch outside, he's really going to be late on the ball that's inside.
Well, he throws him a changeup, and it's 3-2. Ground ball right side. That'll leak into right field, a base hit. Flores around third. He'll be held. It's a late stop sign. Now the bases are now loaded for Curtis Granderson. Well, the bases are loaded. That certainly has been harmful for the Phillies during this series. The Mets already have 2 grand slams. The Mets have never hit 3 grand slams in one series.
All 3 hits the same. Well, take that back. The bunt by Cabrera was a bunt, but Reyes hits the ball sharply to the right side. And then we see Johnson and Bruce go out and hooking balls to the right side. He's diving out there.
And that's partly because he can't get in with his fastball, right?
I don't think he's made an attempt.
Starts Granderson off low. It's 1-0. Well, you mentioned the numbers for Vince recently. Since the All-Star break, 0-4. The Phillies are 0-7 with an ERA of 6.25. The opposition hitting .296 against him since the break. Two balls and no strikes. Fly ball center field. Odubel shading his eyes from the sun. Makes the catch. Flores tagging from third. The throw goes to third, which is the right decision for Odubel. It's a sac fly, and the Mets take a 1-0 lead.
It's okay. Second out. Get out of this with just the 1 run.
RBI for Granderson, just his 35th of the season. And with runners on first and second, here's Alejandro De Aza.
The big bases loaded double last evening.
Try to hold up his swing. He went around, says the third base umpire. Good play by A.J. Ellis to gobble that ball up in the dirt. Through it. And that wraps up the first. The Mets do score a run. They leave 2. We'll move to the second. Phil's trailing at 1-0. To take on the Washington Nationals for a 3-game series. All 3 games are at 7:05. Reminder that Wednesday is Zombie Night at Citizens Bank Park. Get your tickets now by going to Phillies.com. Aaron Altair will lead it off. And Altair takes a fastball, and it's 0-1. Aaron 1 for 8 with a double in this series. Reyes does move to shortstop, and Flores does come on to play third base after pinch running for Asdrubal Cabrera. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Well, there's that slider you talked about, Ben, which we saw just a couple of times in the first inning. That looked like a pretty good pitch, particularly when he can locate that sinker.
Yes. Center field. And Diaz is there. Altair is retired. Let's check in with Greg Murphy, who's going to tell us everything he knows about Robert Gsellman.
He's 23. There you go. 23-year-old dude. Actually, Tom started the season at Double-A, but pitched very well down there. Was promoted to Triple-A in Las Vegas for the New York Mets, and then made his debut, as you guys talked about last week, against the Cardinals. He came in actually in the first inning. Jonathan Neese came up lame in the first inning. He had to come in and get almost what was a spot start. He pitched 3 2/3 innings in that game, and after the game, Terry Collins said he had seen enough to give him another chance, this time in a starting role. That's what we're seeing today. So, you know, making his major league debut as a starter, you would think that the nerves would be there. He talked about having the nerves coming out of the bullpen. He had never come out of the bullpen before. He's been a starting pitcher his entire life. And he said when he got into the game, it was a little bit different for him. First batter he faced had a double off of him, Yadier Molina with a double off of him. But after that, he was able to settle down and did pitch very well. And as you mentioned, Ben, you know, most of the stuff he throws is very hard, but he does have a very good changeup that we're getting a chance to see as well. So the Mets are high on him. They did not expect that they were going to have to use him this season. They thought he'd get a little more seasoning down there in the minor leagues. But, you know, with injuries the way the Mets have seen them this year, he's getting his chance and hoping to make the most of it.
And all of his pitches, based on his first outing in those 3 2/3 when he walked 3 and allowed 2 hits, all of his pitches are well above the average, the major league average, as far as velocity goes. Fastballs is quicker than the major league average. Same with the changeup, same with the slider. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Paredes. And 3-2.
And Tom, as you know, you can see it. He's obviously a very tall kid. He's listed 6'4". He might even be a little bit taller than that. And he throws everything they say downhill. And he wants guys. He's basically a ground ball pitcher. He's a guy that likes to you know, get you to roll over on pitches and keep the ball on the ground. And or throw your bat, one or the other. Oof.
The bat coptered into the seats about 8 rows up, and Paredes is down on strikes. Now there are 2 outs. Second strikeout for Gesellman.
Man, that thing went far.
It did go far. It looked like it nicked somebody.
Number 34, A.J. Ellis.
I can't believe how far that went. Just because there's a lot of foul territory here. I mean, a lot.
Yeah, so consider that when you think about how far it went.
Exactly. It still went 15 rows up.
A.J. Ellis takes a strike. It's 0-1. A lot of foul territory in the first and third base side, not left and right field.
Sure is. It was like Oakland. There's a lot of foul territory there as well. I remember when we got here, Tom, just the walk from the dugout to home plate is quite extensive.
Well, 3 straight fastballs to get A.J. Ellis. 3 strikeouts so far for Gesellman. He's retired 6 consecutive hitters. We'll go to the bottom of the second here at Citi Field.
Game with the Colts. Watch all next week at 6 on PCN. Stream us live at breakfastonbroad.com.
It is a warm day up here in Queens, as it probably is down in the Delaware Valley. Bright sunshiny afternoon. Try to keep as cool as possible.
What's the difference between Queens and Flushing?
Queens and Flushing. Flushing's part of Queens, the borough of Queens.
Oh, it's a borough. Okay.
James Loney takes on the outside corner. No balls and 1 strike. I don't know if you know this or not, Ben. New York is made up of 5 boroughs.
I honestly didn't know that. Because half the time they'll say the game's in Flushing, the other time it's what's in Queens.
And there's a base hit to right field. So Loney's aboard. Are these all things that you guys used to talk about on the bench when you came in to the Padres?
No, I just.
Hey, Tony, let me ask you something. Why do they keep calling this Queens, or why do they call it Flushing? And what did Tony Gwynn say?
No, because I sent a tweet out last night. It's something about we're in Flushing. And then you just said, we're coming to you from Queens.
Got to mix it up, Ben.
I guess. So there's 5 boroughs?
Mm-hmm.
Can you name them all?
Manhattan, Brooklyn, Bronx, Queens, and Staten Island.
Wow. Well done.
Thank you.
See, you learn something new every day. I'm glad I asked that question.
0-1 to d'Arnaud. And d'Arnaud fouls it off to the right. And it's 0-2. d'Arnaud 253, 4 homers and 14 runs batted in. Asdrubal Cabrera, by the way, a sore left knee. Tough to get old. Hurt your wrist, all of a sudden your knee bothers you. Tapper back over the middle and picked up by Hernandez and then kicks. Well, we gave you that Coors Light fact earlier. That'll be the first error for the Phils in the last 2 weeks. Goes down as an E4, 9th error of the season for Cesar Hernandez. It's a fielder's choice for d'Arnaud.
Just trying to do too many things at once there. Ball comes over the mound, tries to catch it and step on second base to make the pivot and throw to first base and complete the double play. You have to make sure one first.
And you also have to know who's running to a certain extent, because obviously it's d'Arnaud who's running, who's not the slowest catcher of all time. On the inside corner to Gesellman. But he had time to wait, field it, step on second, and probably still get d'Arnaud at first.
Plenty of time.
Phillies set up to try to play the sacrifice with runners on first and second. Gesellman 0 for 2 as a major leaguer and 3 for 25 in the minors, and he bunts it right up the first base line.
Jeez.
Sacrifice is successful.
So that's the difference right there. You could have nobody out and the pitcher up, but now you have second and third with 1 out.
And the top of the order
coming up. This is an amazing bunt. Just because of the pitch location up in the zone, Selman gets on top of it and deadens it perfectly. It's an excellent bunt. Just the fact he's able to get on top of this high fastball and angle it.
Talking hair product and bunting. Second and third. On the outside corner with a breaking ball. 1 ball, 1 strike to Reyes. Reyes grounded out his first time up. Phillies will concede a run on a ground ball here. Ground ball to the middle of the diamond. Has good velocity. He's at 96 miles an hour with that fastball there. That's where he's topped off this afternoon. He's running into the same problem that he's had, really since the second month of the season, and that is a high pitch count early in games. Breaking ball, and a good one. Gets Reyes on strikes. That is the first strikeout of the day for Vince Velasquez.
Oh, was that sharp?
That was the best curveball we've seen him throw in weeks.
Nasty.
So here's Wilmer Flores up for the first time.
What's the bite on this curveball? Comes out of the same arm slot, and it is hard. Boom! Hammer time.
Flores hitting .262. He has 14 home runs, 44 runs batted in. He's basically a utility man. And he takes inside 1-0.
What made that curveball so good is when he threw it, it didn't jump out of his hand. It just came on the same plane.
That one had a little bit more loop to it. So Flores falls behind 1-2. All right, so now you can go a couple of different ways if you want to, if you're Velasquez. You try to dot a fastball, or maybe you throw the slider.
Curveball's really breaking. I'd see if you can bounce one here and trust A.J. Ellis going to block it for you. It seems like they can get on the same page right now.
Well, he did try the slider. Now it's 2-2. Fastball on the inside corner, strike 3 called. So he does work the inner half to Wilmer Flores, and he leaves 2 in scoring position. Back-to-back strikeouts. We've played 2. On to the 3rd. 1-0 Mets. Is due to bat in this inning, and he was bringing the lumber yesterday. Brought to you by Yellowwood brand pressure treated pine.
Got a curveball here from Noah Syndergaard, and he blasted out to right field, like he said on the broadcast, into Utley's corner down there in right field. The only run the Phillies ended up scoring last night. That was your Yellowwood bringing the lumber.
The Mets lead at 1-0 as they scored a run in the first. So let's see if Galvis, Velasquez, and then the top of the order can get something rolling here at Citi Field. Galvis shoots it the other way. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Freddie. Freddie overall 233, 14 home runs, 53 runs batted in. This guy does work quickly, though, doesn't he?
He does.
Gesellman, before the 2015 season, we talk about him throwing this sinker. It's essentially a 2-seamer. That one is lined out to left center field. That'll be in for a base hit. Granderson cuts it off. Galvis on his way to second. The throw is way offline. And Freddie has the second hit of the day for the Phils, his 22nd double of the season.
Oh, Freddie. Exactly what you do with a sinker. His head down on that baseball. Stayed through it. This swing is as pretty as you're going to see. Oh. Gets into left center, and I think he's going to make that regardless if it's a good throw or not from Granderson. Boy, was that a pretty swing.
Well, now Velasquez is up. Corners pinch in. He bunts toward first, and it is a foul ball. 0-1 to Velasquez. Velasquez does have 2 sacrifices so far this season. Pretty good hitter, 216. Takes a look at Juan Samuel to see what the signs are. He was asked something yesterday, which I had never thought about. I just assumed it was true. He was asked, do you know what Sammy's signs are? Or do you just give him signs and just let him go with whatever his communication is? He said, oh yeah. He said, you know why? And I don't remember the writer who asked it. They said, why? He said, because if the player says that he didn't get that sign, I can say, yes, you did. Ball's bunted right in front of the plate. And the sacrifice will be successful.
Nicely done, Vince.
Vince picks up his 3rd of the year. Over to third base goes Galvis. 1-4 on the putout. Well, time now for the Jeep Stump the Fans trivia question. Log on to Phillies.com. Go to the fans section for all the information. And please submit your answer on the subject line. All right, Ben, who was the first Met to hit 3 home runs in a home game? The first Met to hit 3 home runs in a home game. Ever. Polo Grounds, Shea Stadium here.
First Met.
Yep. The answer will be revealed later on. Baseball historian, you should know this.
Tom, I didn't know there were 5 boroughs in New York City. You think I'm going to know that one? Give it a whirl.
Cesar bunts to left of the mound. Freddie does not go. Now he goes. He's out at first. The throw to the plate, and he is out at home plate. The base running mistakes the Phillies have made this year are one of the more glaring parts of their struggles. I should say poor decisions that they've made on the base paths. Galvis doesn't go, waits, goes back. Now when Gesellman makes the throw, he decides to scamper toward home, and it turns out to be a double play. Nissan.com. Buy McDonald's. Mix and match any 2 for just $2.50 on McDonald's McPick 2 menu. And buy your local Ford stores. Well, the Phillies just made a base running mistake, but they also made a mistake at the plate trying to bunt with a runner at third when you have arguably your best hitter at the plate with the Mets playing the infield back. All that formulates into just a bad sequence.
You have a guy that's hitting 294 on the season, 295 on the season, Cesar. You smoked a single your first time up to lead off the ball game. So many bad things could go wrong, and it just did.
No, and that was Cesar. That was not, let's give you a safety squeeze sign. That was Cesar making that decision.
How about you just bring it with you instead of going down the third base line? Right. Maybe it's that good a bunt and Freddie doesn't get that good a jump where Flores can come in and just toss it to d'Arnaud at home plate, and then he's out at home. If you bring it with you, he's going to score easily, and you might get yourself a knock out of it.
Yeah, there was so much that was wrong with that play. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Kelly Johnson as we start the third. And he fouls it off.
So if he brings it with him down the first base side, he's not going to have an issue. Gesellman gets it, throws it to Loney. And Loney, being the Gold Glover that he is at first base, makes an easy throw to d'Arnaud at home, and Freddie's out.
Now I know it does take a good throw to get Freddie at the plate by Loney, but he had plenty of time, so it was easy to make a good throw. At least it seemed to be easy. Well, the strikeout, that's 3 straight strikeouts for Velasquez.
Let's see, Cesar there, out at first by plenty. Loney to d'Arnaud, and he's out by 5 feet.
See right there, Freddie just goes back to third.
Once you retreat, shut it down. I obviously I have an issue with Freddie's base running there, but I have more of an issue with Cesar and his choice to
I think it's a good point.
He's as hot as anybody in the league right now. Not just on the team, hot as anybody in the league. If I go up and I smoke a ball to right field like he did his first at bat, I'm feeling pretty good about myself. Like I can do it again, or at least hit a ground ball to the right side to score Freddie.
One ball and 1 strike to Jay Bruce. He singled his first time. Off speed pitch, 1-2. Two balls, 2 strikes to Jay Bruce. And he got him. Fired a fastball right on by him. That's 4 straight strikeouts for Velasquez. And there are 2 outs.
See a different rhythm out there?
No doubt.
Night and day. Here it is, Bruce. You're not going to catch up to it.
Not sure why it's changed. Maybe it's something he got into something that he liked, and now he's just doing it over and over again.
Well, if you get at it, it just messes with your tempo. Look, you get it, boom, right back on the rubber, ready to go. Takes all thought out of everything. Here it is. Here's the sign. Here you go, Curtis. Me versus you.
And it happened. I don't even know if it was the sacrifice by Gesellman or if it was the d'Arnaud ball up the middle that was mishandled by Cesar. But he was on his own. There was nobody out there talking to him. 1 ball, 1 strike to Granderson with 2 outs.
And that may also have been something that he went in and talked to AJ about. Or maybe AJ talked to him about, being a veteran guy. Say, hey man, let's pick up the pace here. You have good stuff. Threw some great breaking balls last inning. Stay with it.
Change up, 3-2.
That's some good movement on it.
He just ran it a little bit too far out. All 4. Granderson works out a walk, and De Aza's coming up. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is available for you to watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. It includes a free subscription app at Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details.
See that last pitch? I would like to see it. I've watched AJ Ellis over the years, but I'd like to see him be a little bit more on the plate. When Vince has missed today to lefties, he's missing arm side. So I'd like to see him be a little bit more on the plate there, 3-2.
So then it gets into Velasquez's head.
just exactly what he just did to Jay Bruce. You have a good electric fastball. You have Granderson, who's hitting just 219. Yes, he does have 20 homers, but if he hits a solo home run there, tip your cap to him. I'd like to see him get a little bit more on plate. You know how I feel about 2-out walks.
He bunts toward third, a foul ball, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike.
So here's Ellis. See where he's set up? So he's sitting up right here on the plate, right? That's where he has his mitt. Well, that mitt's just on the corner. If he does hit that mitt, yes, it's going to be a strike, but it's on the black. And he misses arm side again, up and away. So if he's set up a little bit more on the plate,
it's a different visual for the pitcher.
That's exactly right. I just have seen the Phillies get beat too many times with a 2-out walk, or walks in general this year. Really snake bitten the Phillies, and the fact that they seem to come around and score.
And a liner to center field. Here comes Odubel, and he'll make the catch as he does a little belly flop. And that'll wrap up the bottom of the third. No runs, no hits, 1 man left. 3 in the books. To the 4th we go. Independence Blue Cross. They're part of a national system of Blue Cross and Blue Shield plans that cover more than 100 million members across the country. Live fearless. Learn more at ibx.com/biz. Not a beautiful day for baseball or anything else here in Flushing. Phillies trail at 1-0.
See what you're doing there.
Just mixing it up, Ben.
So, Tom, I made it to the field today in 17 minutes.
On your bicycle?
No, in a cab.
Odubel Herrera takes a strike. It's 0-1. It's good. It's a Sunday.
It's just amazing when you sit in traffic for an hour on one day and then you make it the next day in 17 minutes.
Folks aren't working today.
It's awesome.
Odubel sacrificed his last time up. Over to third. Wilmer Flores. One away for Maikel Franco. If you come here tomorrow, Ben, and leave at the same time, you're probably not going to get here in 17 minutes.
No.
Franco popped out of foul territory his first time up, so he's 0 for 1.
I'm Maikel. I am opening up and spinning right here on the sinker. just as it's how he got him out his first at bat. It's how he's gone out. It's exactly how he went after Tommy Joseph. Get him out of there.
Pulls it through the hole, and there's a base hit. Well, he threw him a slider, and it was up. And Michael, his second hit of the series. A 1-out single. Third hit for the Phils. And Tommy Joseph, who struck out his first time up, will get a second look at Robert Gesellman. Murph mentioned before his dad was part of the Phillies organization. His dad was a catcher, made his way to a high A ball, played 3 years in the Phillies system, drafted in 1984 in the 23rd round. Gesellman grew up in Southern California, was a basketball star in high school. Selected out of high school by the Mets. It wasn't until before the 2015 season that the two-seamer that he currently throws, that he was taught that pitch. It's helped speed him up through the system, and eventually here in the big leagues it was taught by one of the coordinators for the Mets, Keith Ramsey, and he was able to buy into it almost immediately.
Well, it's a good one. It's heavy.
Ball's rocketed foul off the tarp.
See, that's a foul ball, but that's a tremendous adjustment by Tommy Joseph. He had some bad swings on pitches in on him his first at bat. Brought his hands in nicely there, opened up a bit quicker. Yes, it was foul, but he knows now that he can get to that pitch. I don't know why Darnell keeps looking in that dugout for so long. Franco's not going anywhere.
But don't you get signs after every single pitch?
Yeah, but I guess he can't find who's giving him the signs.
Line drive caught by Flores, throws across the diamond on one hop. It squirts off the glove of James Loney, but Franco's back. Tommy hit a couple balls hard in that at bat, but nothing to show for it. 2 outs.
Yeah, you know you hit a ball hard when you even get a foot out of the batter's box and you're out.
Altair flied out to center field his first time up. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, Washington and Colorado are tied up at 1. Nolan Arenado an RBI single for the Rockies. The Rockies are still listed in the race for the wild card, but they're back a pretty good ways game wise. Washington's 5-5 in its last 10 games, but still 8 games up in the East. Tied him up 2-2. balls and 2 strikes. Franco will be off and running on this pitch. So much room out in left center field and right center field. A ball in the gap even should score Franco.
A lot of room over that fence.
Well, I think everybody would take that at this point. With a breaking ball, and it remains 3-2.
See, what makes Gesellman tough enough because of that good sinker is the fact that he's got another pitch to go with it to complement that good sinker, and that's that slider. That last one was a curveball, but he does have that good slider away, which you have to respect as well.
Inside ball 4, and that puts runners on first and second. First walk issued by Gesellman. And Jimmy Paredes is coming up. This summer's office blockbuster is here. Hahn's new Solve Chair. Your office's answer to versatility and customized comfort. Delivered to you for free on one of W.B. Mason's world famous trucks. Hahn and W.B. Mason, a pair of heavy hitters that truly deliver. Brady struck out his first time up. Better left-handed hitter than right-handed hitter. 268 career hitter from the left side of the plate. Peter Borges has been scuffling somewhat lately, so Pete Mackanin getting Paredes a couple starts in a row. Swing and a miss late on a 94-mile-an-hour fastball, and it's 0-1. Just missed off the inner half, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike.
Two out knock here.
For these numbers, the last 11 games, just 12 hits with runners in scoring position. Out in front of an off-speed pitch, so he doubles up on the changeup. That was a much different changeup than the previous one. A, because of location, but B, it looked like it left his hand a little differently.
Yeah, it did. He turned it over more.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Down the right field line, Paredes may have gotten enough of this one. Bruce on the run. It is off the base of the wall. 1 run is in. Rounding third, heading for almost Altair. The throw to the plate is in time. It'll turn out to be an RBI double for Paredes. Altair, the back-end runner, thrown out trying to score all the way from first. But the Phillies have tied the ball game up at 1. Bruce with his 10th outfield assist of the season. Toyota. Visit buyatoyota.com to find your route for today. Toyota, let's go places. Let's go Phils. Phillies have tied the Mets up at 1 as we move now to the bottom of the 4th inning. Well, here's the last play. Bruce did a good job, even though he was close to the fence, of fielding this one, and he's got a very accurate arm.
It doesn't kick away from Jay Bruce, but he does hit his cutoff man Kelly Johnson, makes a relay to d'Arnaud. Aaron Altherr well out at home plate. I don't have a problem with Sammy sending Aaron there. Phillies are having a tough time scoring runs here, so they made 2 perfect throws to get Aaron at home plate. Now, A.J. Ellis was on deck, who struck out on 3 pitches his first at bat. All these things factor into that.
Loney starts it off here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Loney singled his first time up, and he takes outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Three balls and no strikes. Mets picked Loney up after he opted out of his deal with the AAA affiliate of the San Diego Padres. He was hitting over 300. And after Lucas Duda went down, you kind of have a sense of these things. Sort of through back channels, you realize that, all right, well, this team is looking for a first baseman, a guy that can play some defense. He's a .284 lifetime hitter. Thinking, all right, maybe this is a better spot for me than being in San Diego's farm system. Some of the veteran players like Loney can put that into their deal, and a lot of them do. Is that opt out? So he opted out, and within a couple days he was with the Mets organization. Three-two pitch to Loney. Fly ball out to shallow left field. Paredes comes in, sunglasses on. And one away. And Travis d'Arnaud, the number 8 hitter, is next up. Travis d'Arnaud, former first-round pick, a sandwich pick by the Phillies in 2007. Phillies sent him to the Blue Jays in the Roy Halladay trade. And the Blue Jays sent him here in the R.A. Dickey Noah Syndergaard deal. Curveball spins him away, 2-0. Phillies dealt him. He was coming off a year where he had 13 home runs and had 71 runs batted in at Lakewood. He had 52 extra base hits that year. Back to the screen, 2-1.
I think that's right there. Typical example of just Vince trying to overthrow the ball. Yes, it was at 95. Not even close to the strike zone. And I think he's going to have to realize at some point 92 down and away is better than the 95 in the dirt.
Well, that was close to down and away. I mean, that was.
But that was a different release. It was not as aggressive, and the ball still came out beautifully.
Popped him up. Ellis gives it a look. Not a lot of room behind home plate, and it's out of play. And it remains 3 balls and 2 strikes to d'Arnaud.
What I mean by that is you look at Vince in his windup. It's takeaway, leg lift, pitch, not takeaway, leg lift, pitch. You got me?
I got you. I got you loudly.
Keep you on your toes, partner.
And a liner out toward left again, and this one will drop in front of Paredes. So 1 out single, and d'Arnaud's aboard. Well, the upcoming homestand features the Washington Nationals for the first 3, and then the Atlanta Braves for the next 3. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, Labor Day weekend. Come out and spend some time at the ballpark. 2 night games and a day game. Tickets can be purchased at Phillies.com. Selman last time up sacrificed. Franco is walking in at third, and he bunts that one in the air, and it's off the screen. 0-1. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. If you knew a pitcher was sacrificing, what was your pitch of choice behind the plate?
Fastball at the belt.
He's out of that nice little rhythm he was in for the end of the second and the beginning of the third.
And I like the fastball at the belt because it's the hardest. First of all, Vince throws extremely hard. A hard fastball is the hardest pitch to bunt. If you have something that's slower and already moving downward, example, a curveball or slider, or even a changeup, it's already moving downward. It's slower. You see it longer. You have more time to react. Fastball's on you. That's why the Phillies pitchers every day at home, they have the machine out at about what, 45 feet maybe, and it's cranked, and they're juicing them in there, and the pitchers have to lay it down.
Inside, 3-1. Seven 3-ball counts for Velasquez so far in this game. We're just in the bottom of the 4th. And he does bunt it foul. It's 3-2. See if the Mets decide to take it off here, or if they just roll the dice and see if he can lay it down with 2 strikes.
I think he's got to be bunting.
I would think so.
And I hope he bunts it real hard back to Vince. We get a 1-6-3 double play.
And he bunts it foul for a strikeout. So 5 strikeouts for Velasquez. Now they're 2 away here in the 4th. I asked that about the, what pitch you would want. Jamie used to talk about he liked to throw a breaking pitch if somebody was bunting, because he wanted to put movement on it to force the hitter to kind of follow it a little bit more. And I think if you have command like him, you can get away with that. But I don't know if somebody like Vince, you're right, he has a better fastball in something like that. There's a breaking ball to Reyes. That's the pitch he got him on at his last at bat when he went down on strikes. off the end of the bat. Velasquez has it. He'll run halfway to the bag. And that wraps up the 4th inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left for the Mets. We've played 4. We move to the top of the 5th inning. The Phils and the Mets all tied up at 1. The order due up, including A.J. Ellis, who will start things off for the Phils. Time now for our Geico quote of the day, and this comes from Ellis's former teammate Clayton Kershaw about A.J. Ellis's contributions. It's just what he brought to the team, not only for me as one of my best friends, but I think for everybody. I think he really brought that presence that not everybody can really have, where he can get along with everybody and really help everybody's careers. That's not easily replaced. Well, A.J. Ellis also knows that he has big shoes to fill coming over to Philadelphia, taking over for Carlos Ruiz, who was probably arguably the most popular Philly player.
Big shoes indeed.
Ellis fouls the first pitch down the right field line. It's 0-1.
And again, we talk about it. It's a business. It really is. But you know, I always talk about how you spend more time with your teammates than you do with your actual family throughout the course of a season.
Ground ball to shortstop.
And when part of that so-called family isn't there anymore, part of you goes with it. But again, not like they're going to stop being friends.
Well, Matt Klentak said it was important with Carlos Ruiz leaving the clubhouse is to bring in somebody like A.J. Ellis in return, along with a piece for the farm system that could help in the clubhouse as well. I think that's what they're hoping Ellis will do, and already has started to do the last couple of days. Freddie Galvis doubled his first time up, and he takes a breaking ball, 0-1. Way upstairs, 1-2. Freddie fouls it away. It remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Little dribbler to the right of the mound. And Gesellman's still able to recover and throw out Freddie Galvis for the second out. Carlos Ruiz was one of the most beloved players in recent Phillies history. CSN takes a trip down memory lane. Top 10 moments of his outstanding Phillies career. Watch an all-new Phillies Clubhouse Monday night at 11, only on CSN.
I always wanted to catch a no-hitter. Carlos caught four.
Something to that security blanket behind the plate, which is what Doc talked about with Carlos being behind the plate for 2 of his. No balls and 1 strike. Have you ever been close to catching a no-hitter?
No, I think the closest I ever made it was like 6. I think that was with Jose Contreras.
Fouled away. It's 0-2 with the White Sox.
With the White Sox, yes.
Could you feel it at that point? Like,
oh yeah.
Were you starting to think about it?
Sure. And also, you also know about the kind of stuff that a pitcher has that particular night. Now with Doc, that could be every night.
Well, those couple of years, there was a couple of years where it was every night.
But think about it, though. You almost expect it because how good he was and how good his stuff was.
2-2. I think the thing about the perfect game, I mean, let's face it, both no-hitters had 2 different personalities. The perfect game, Josh Johnson was pitching incredibly well that night for the Marlins. And then, of course, the no-hitter, I mean, it's a postseason no-hitter.
Yes.
Such added pressure to it. Swing and a miss. Velasquez takes a hefty rip. He's retired. The Phillies go down in order. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Carlos Ruiz, 2 for Roy Halladay, Cole Hamels, and then, of course, the combined no-hitter down in Atlanta. And for Jason Varitek, a mixture from Nomo to Lowe to Buchholz to John Lester. We'll be back with the bottom of the 5th after this. Well, it's time now for our Citizens Bank Minor League Report. Citizens Bank, the next time you have a question about money, don't keep it to yourself. Ask a citizen. Cody Ashley had a couple doubles, 3 RBIs for Lehigh Valley in their win over Buffalo yesterday. Reading lost to New Hampshire 5-3. Christian Marrero, though, 3 hits, a walk, and a run scored. Clearwater defeated Daytona, and Williamsport defeated Brooklyn. Go to Phillies.com to find out what's going on with all the Phillies minor leagues. The minor league, the MLB.com site is excellent. The MILB.com website is also excellent to get caught up on the entire Phil system. Wilmer Flores will lead it off. He's 0 for 1. Pops the 1-0 pitch foul over toward the Mets dugout out of play. 1-1. Velasquez at 89 pitches. Look out.
How can you hit a ball that foul to your pull side? Seriously.
Got a bit out front of it.
I talk about not having the right swing plane.
Fortunately, it hit a vacant seat over the Phillies dugout. Popped him up, and that'll be out of play behind home plate. Remains 1-2 to Flores. Well, I think that's the thing about his grand slam the other night. Mets did 2 grand slams in the series. Is that it was in his swing plane where Adam Morgan delivered it. Adam didn't intentionally deliver it to that spot, but it just so happened it was right there.
But I mean, if this is the, I just don't get it. How you can come that far around the baseball and still hit it on the barrel.
It was the other night in Chicago. Did the same thing, where they popped it up, they pulled it. Deanna Navarro.
Yeah.
Pulled it foul.
Yep.
Over
Pitch
his
up
right
and
shoulder.
In. Yeah, pitch up and in.
Two balls and 2 strikes. Guys in the Phillies bullpen are starting to stretch and loosen themselves up, with Velasquez zeroing in on 100 pitches. Inside, 3-2. He probably swung at ball 4 as he rolls it foul toward the opening of the Phillies dugout. This is a 9-pitch at bat.
He's had some ugly swings.
Somehow he's getting a piece of it to stay alive. Changeup, and he got him. Hung on to by A.J. Ellis. And Velasquez gets a strikeout, long-winded strikeout to begin the 5th.
Worked for that one.
So with 1 out, Kelly Johnson's coming up. Murph, what about these home runs the Mets have hit against the Phils?
Well, the home runs and the grand slams, you put them all together. Last night, a little bit of a history for the New York Mets, because Kelly Johnson's grand slam was part of the home run cycle, the very seldom seen home run cycle. The Mets hit a solo home run, a 2-run home run, a 3-run home run, and a grand slam, all in last night's game. And you think to yourself, when was the last time that happened? You might be asking yourself that very question, Tom. Well, the last time it happened with the Phillies involved, they allowed it against the Chicago Cubs way back in 1979. You probably remember this game, 23-22. Phils end up winning that game despite giving up the home run cycle. They won that game 23-22. That's a very famous game in Phil's history. It did not go that way last night for the Phillies. Obviously, they were on the wrong end of the home run cycle, but it's not something you see very often in Major League Baseball, guys.
No, not at all. Let's hope we don't see it again for quite some time. In particular, in this game or in the next couple weeks.
It'd be all right if it was the Phillies doing it. That'd be okay.
Well, that is true.
Fine by us.
Bill Buckner that day had 7 RBIs, which is incredible. Schmidt hit 2 home runs for the Phils. Bob Boone, Randy Lurch, Gary Maddox. Kingman had 3. Buckner had 7 RBIs. Buckner had 7. Dave Kingman had 6 RBIs. Jay Bruce takes outside. And Jerry Martin, who spent some time with the Phillies, had 3 RBIs in that ball game. Phillies had 3 players with 4. Rose, Schmidt, and Gary Maddox, and Bob Boone had 5. Swing and a miss, 1-1. One and two.
He just cannot seem to catch up to the fastball. I mean, we're used to seeing Jay Bruce have a very loose swing. That one just seemed very rigid.
Swing or half swing and a miss, and Bruce is struck out for the 6th time in this series. 1-2-3 go the Mets. We'll move to the 6th inning, tied up at 1. For the final month of the season, Hector Neris started 2016 in command and has been solid the whole way through. His first half was high quality, and since the All-Star break, he has been fantastic, only allowing opponents to bat in the mid-100s, and his ERA is well below 1. He's among the best NL relievers in games, strikeouts, innings, ERA, and it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. I think it's safe to say that at some point we will see Hector Neris or Genmar Gomez, even if the Phillies are not leading. As this game moves on, they haven't worked the last couple of days. Here's Cesar Hernandez to start the 6th inning for the Phillies. Tied at 1. Takes a breaking ball. All right, so 3rd time through against Gesellman. What have you learned the first 2 times through against this right-hander if you're the Phillies hitters?
Well, I mean, he's basically doing it with 2 pitches. That one there, that was a changeup, but sinker and slider. He's mixing a few changeups later. He started throwing them maybe around the 4th, 5th inning, but it's predominantly sinker. You see that 94.
Bartolo Colon, he predominantly does it with 1 pitch. And he did it in game 1 of this series. 4 runs allowed, picked up the victory. Swing and a miss. Cesar strikes out. Back-to-back strikeouts. 1 to end the 5th, 1 to begin the 6th inning for Gesellman. And Odubel Herrera is next up.
See Gesellman. Good curveball there. And right back to the sinker.
Out to left field. Granderson is there. At some point, And I'm sure he's done this a million times with Steve Henderson. Sit Odubel down and say, this is what your stance looked like last year and the first part of this year. Something's off kilter because the ball, a lot of balls the other way, particularly against right-handers.
Right.
And just not a lot of zip on them.
No. And we know that his exit velocity, we always talk about that, could be as hard as anybody's.
No question.
Ball comes off his bat hot.
Franco is 1 for 2. He scored the only run for the Phillies. All right, so you mentioned before you want him to look in and go.
Yeah.
Same thing here.
I mean, that's how he's making a living today. Sinker after sinker.
David Hernandez, who was effective last night, is warming up in the pen for the Phillies today.
6 up, 6 down for David.
Opposite field, and Bruce on the run makes the catch.
I like to see that, though. Good looking swing there by Maikel Franco, taking that ball away. We will head to the bottom of the 6th. Phillies and Mets tied up 1-1.
Your Delaware Valley Honda dealers. Heard of your local Del Val Honda dealer. Visit DelValHondaDealers.com. Buy Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. And buy WB Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. Phillies into their bullpen as we move to the bottom of the 6th inning. A game tied at 1. Mets scored their run in the 1st inning on an RBI sacrifice fly by Curtis Granderson. Phillies added their run in the 4th. Phillies have had 2 base runners thrown out trying to score from 3rd. David Hernandez, who pitched 2 scoreless last night, 2-3, an ERA of 4.28. And he will face Granderson, De Aza, and James Loney. Mitch Velasquez strikes out 7 over 5 innings of work. There are some positives that he can take out of this outing. I mean, just based on his numbers since the All-Star break. You'd love him to get deeper into the game, obviously. Those first couple innings, though, did not allow him to do it. Got over 100 pitches. Swing and a miss. And David Hernandez retires Granderson. Time now for the Jeep Stump the Fans trivia quiz answer. All right, Ben, here we go. Who was the first Met to hit 3 home runs in a home game? A home game. Mets have had some good home run hitters over the years. Obviously, Dave Kingman, Darryl Strawberry.
I'm going to say Curtis Granderson.
Curtis Granderson is a good guess. It is incorrect. You were close on the first name.
Strawberry? Oh, Curtis. I thought we were talking about in between breaks. When I said I think I'm going to go with Strawberry.
Glenn wanted you to go Kingman. Is that right? Steve Henderson was a part of the Mets at one point.
Yes, he was.
De Aza takes on the outside corner. Well, here's your answer. This is not anybody that you would have thought.
Oh.
Kirk Neuenhuis, July of last year against Arizona.
It was so close, Tom.
Yep. Log back on to Phillies.com to find it. Find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize. Has anybody done it since Granderson?
I'm sure there has been.
0-2 pitch is low to De Aza. It's 1-2. Fouled back, and it remains 1 ball and 2 strikes to De Aza. Cespedes did it August of last year. Dude has done it also. Outside, 2-2. I don't think anybody would have guessed Kirk Neuenhuis.
No, and maybe on the outs with the production cavity.
And a liner into center field, a base hit for De Aza.
He's strung together 3 good at bats. That's the first hit he's got. He lined out to right his first at bat, smoked the ball to Odubel in center for his second at bat, and then with a punch and line drive into center for his first hit.
So runner at first, James Loney, who's 1 for 2, will be the hitter. Loney singled and was left over at third base his first time up, and he flied out to left field his last time. Let's take a peek up at the scoreboard. They will notice that the Miami Marlins are trailing right now against San Diego, and St. Louis is trailing as well in the third. Outside. To the right side. They should get 1 out of this at first. De Aza will be safe at second. 2 outs here in the 6th inning. And Travis Darnell will be the batter.
You walk him?
I think you can get Darno out here. That's her 1 for 4 with runners in scoring position. You know, normally I would, the way things are going, I would say yes. I think you can get him out here. Would you walk him?
I would.
Here's the thing, you know, if you do walk him, you've got Gesellman, because they're not going to take him out.
No.
Although there is bullpen action, so maybe, and that could be just for show. So you get Gesellman next inning. Gesellman's going to be out anyway after he pitches the 7th. Whacked foul. It's 0-2. I think if you're Terry Collins, though, you want Gesellman, even though you have Robles warming up, you want Gesellman to pitch the 7th inning.
Yeah, you do. He's only thrown 84 pitches.
Outside.
He missed a spot there, but that was close to being a strike. Off the end of the bat, foul. Remains 1-2. And that one gets by A.J. Ellis, who fires to third after barehanding it off the wall, and Diaz still is safe at third. A slower runner, and he probably would have had him at third base because the carom came back pretty quickly. Amazing how this ball kicks up
right off the base of that wall.
Barehands it. Well, that would have been nice, huh? Quick reaction there by A.J. Ellis.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And Darno lays off. It's 3-2. Nothing good here. Nothing good. Fastball chopped out to shortstop. Big hop for Freddie Galvis. And the Mets leave one over at third base. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. We have played 6. Still deadlocked at 1 as we go to the top of the 7th inning here in New York. summary. We're tied up at 1. The Phillies have had 2 base runners thrown out trying to score so far today. Velasquez went 5 innings, 7 strikeouts, 5 hits, and 1 earned run. Gesellman has gone 6 so far. He's still out there. The Mets run came on a sac fly by Granderson. The Phillies run came on an RBI double by Jimmy Paredes. And now as we move to the top of the 7th inning, Tommy Joseph will lead things off against Gesellman. As Ben mentioned, he's at 84 pitches. Tommy has struck out. He's also lined out to third. And a fastball 0-1. And 2. Back-to-back fastballs. Well, this guy's been pretty good today.
I like him. He comes right after you. Pitches to contact. A good complement of pitches, that's for sure.
You know, you look at his overall minor league numbers, 34 and 31. That's not going to overwhelm anybody, but his earned run average in the minor leagues is excellent, 3.11. It was a little higher this year, but still 3.11. Inside, 1-2.
Especially coming from Vegas.
Well, that's the thing, Vegas, and he didn't give up a lot of home runs in Vegas. Levin's the lefty, Robles the righty. And that one's under the glove of James Loney into right field. Tommy Joseph will stop at first. He hit the ball hard, and he is aboard to begin the 7th inning.
All fastballs. Another hard hit ball by Tommy. Did strike out his first at bat, but lined out his second at bat and hits this one hard down the first base line.
So he has given a hit on that. And Aaron Altair with a runner at first. Altair has flied out to center field. He's walked. He's one of the guys that's been thrown out trying to score. Fights it off foul. And it's 0-1.
Still has that velocity.
Mm-hmm. And a liner to left field. That'll drop in front of Granderson for a base hit. So the Phils are the first 2 batters aboard here in the top of the 7th inning. They might get some movement in the Mets dugout. Terry Collins hasn't budged yet.
Boy, did that curveball have hit me written all over it. Aaron would be mad at himself if he missed that one.
So Jimmy Paredes, who has an RBI today, is now the hitter. Here's that pitch.
Point of contact. Nice swing. But what's good about that is he didn't alter his swing. Sometimes you'll get that hanging breaking ball and you say, oh, here we go. And you overswing, you jam yourself, you pop it up. That's the same swing.
Dan Worthen took his time before he decided to come out. I wonder if part of it is just to make sure that everybody's on the right page, because Darno was looking into the dugout and wasn't sure which signs to throw down. All right, so everybody seems to be on the same page. They said we couldn't play. An oral history of the Philadelphia Stars of the old Negro Leagues is now available by going to the Majestic Clubhouse store or by going to Phillies.com, or you can call 877-GO-PHILS. The film dives into the history of the Philadelphia Stars, narrated by Ryan Howard. It is a great piece. And it is available as we speak. Runners on first and second. Paredes stands in. Fastball 0-1. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, we mentioned before that the A's had a small lead over the Cardinals. Well, they've built it to a 5-1 lead. Stephen Vogt, a 3-run home run, his 11th of the year. And a liner to left center field. Granderson's not going to get it. He'll play it on one hop. Tommy Joseph had a hold up, so that means he'll stop at third. And Jimmy Paredes is now 2 for 3 today. And that may be it for Gesellman. Terry Collins is coming up the stairs, and he will go get the young right-hander. So the Phillies making some noise offensively here in the 7th, and they'll have to push a run across the plate against the Mets bullpen. So a pitching change here in the top of the 7th inning. We're tied up at 1. Now the bases are loaded for the Phils. We'll be back right after this. Defensive play of the game. This is part of the reason why the Phils and the Mets are tied up at 1.
Yeah, Cesar Hernandez opts for a bunt for a base hit. Ends up going down as a 1-3-2 double play. Gesellman, Deloney to Darno. Tags out Freddie Galvis. That is your Hyundai defensive play of the game, brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers.
Well, Gesellman's day is done. He will be in the dugout watching Hansel Robles against A.J. Ellis. Robles pitched in game 1 of this series. 5-4 with an ERA of 4.00. Robles is not quick as a cat when it comes to his pace. He is in a jam here, and A.J. Ellis trying to pay some dividends already. Swing and a miss at the first pitch. 0-1. 97 on that fastball. A little bit of sink to it. A.J. Ellis had 13 home runs back in 2012. That was the best season for him. Hit double digits the next year as well. Has not had the same success offensively since.
Phillies were able to string 3 hits together. Unable to score thus far. It's hard to score when you hit them that hard. These balls were cooked.
And a liner out toward left field. That's going to be over the head of Curtis Granderson. A one hop off the wall. One run is in. Here comes Altair. He's going to score. Going to third and held up there is Paredes. A 2-run double for A.J. Ellis. And the Phillies take a 3-1 lead. That's a nice way to get to know your new teammates.
Welcome to the party. Big swing on his first swing. Off Robles. The 0-0 count. Kind of tone that one down. Let the power of Robles' fastball supply the power. Good short swing. Golfs it out to left center. Short hops the left field wall. Second and third. Nobody out.
Well, those runs are charged to Gesellman's line. He's still responsible for Paredes over at third base. And now Freddie Galvis will be walked intentionally. Peter Borges is in the on-deck circle to pinch hit.
It's 4 balls in a row that were smoked.
So the Phillies will have the bases loaded for a pinch hitter.
And this is where it's tough as a manager, because you're thinking about, you having all your bench guys ready to rock and roll, right? So if in this situation you're going, in this situation you're going, and you also have to think, if we go up, you may start to think maybe more of a defensive reason for who's going to hit at a particular time. These are all the different thoughts. It's not just saying, oh, Peter, why don't you go hit now? You know, all these different things factor into why Pete Mackanin has Peter Borges up right now.
Phillies also have Ramos up in the bullpen, so they're getting ready to hopefully set up 7, 8, and 9 with their 3 guys. Ramos, Neris, and then Jedmar Gomez. Borges hitting .250 with 4 home runs. Swinging a miss at the first breaking ball, 0-1. And 2. Still nobody out here in the top of the 7th. Ooh, Borges is hit by that pitch, and that will force in a run, and let's hope he's okay. That ball came in at 96 miles per hour. It's 4-1 Phillies on top.
Oh, that sounded awful.
It did.
Just no way you can get out of the way of that.
Scott Sheridan, Phillies athletic trainer, is out. Here comes Pete Mackanin as well. They're going to walk Borges up the first base line. You could just hear it. It hit it solid.
Did it get on the shoulder pad or the arm? Oh no, it was
right on the hand.
Definitely his hand. Well, maybe there was a chance it got that little elbow pad.
It sounded like it hit some. I mean, you hoped it sounded like it hit something other than bone. So Robles is done, and Scott Sheridan is taking a look at Peter Borges. Terry Collins going back to the bullpen. Watch it again as it comes riding in 96 miles an hour. And just no way to get out of the way of that one if you're Peter Borges. Bases are loaded. Phil's up 4-1. Still nobody out. We'll be back after this. Fans 15 and older compliments of hers. It'll be given out Saturday, September 17th when the Phillies take on the Marlins. Make your plans now. Order your tickets by going to Phillies.com. Now the Phillies have the bases loaded. Jerry Blevins is now in. Phillies have scored 3 runs here in the 7th inning. And the top of the order, Cesar Hernandez is the batter. Mets will play the infield in with Ellis over at third. Back behind home plate, 0-1. Blevins' numbers, a 2.34 earned run average, 40 strikeouts in 34 and 2/3 innings. Fly ball left field. Granderson going back. He can't see it. He has no idea where it is. Now he finds it, makes the catch. Ellis will tag. The throw goes to third. 5-1 Phillies. Boy, what an adventure that was.
He recovered quickly.
He was fortunate that he was in the neighborhood.
A good read on it initially, and then just fortunately for the Mets was able to pick that up. Phil's getting the 1 run out of the sac fly. And he says, I don't know. And then he looks away, and then he's able to gather himself. And you could understand that maybe if the play was a little more shallow, he could deke somebody, but not that deep.
Well, 1 man down, runners on first and second. Here's Odubel Herrera. Inside 1-0 to Odubel Herrera. Odubel had a sacrifice bunt his first time up, although he was bunting for a hit. He was awarded a sacrifice. He's grounded out to third, and he's flied out to left field. That one is fouled back. I think he feels like he missed a pitch there. But it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
He did miss it, but that's the swing we saw in the first half of the season. Gets his foot down on time. So that head came off just a hair. Can't hit what you can't see.
One and two. Phillies 4 runs on 4 hits in this inning, after being held to 4 hits the first 6 innings of this game. Swing and a miss. He went flat, and first base is occupied. Odubel was starting to run. And there are 2 outs. And that'll bring Franco to the plate, although Terry Collins is going to make a double switch here. He'll bring in the right-hander to face Maikel Franco with his team down 5-1. So they'll bring in the righty. And it looks like TJ Rivera is going to come into the ball game as well. So pitching change, position change. We'll be back to Citi Field with the Phillies up 4 right after this. Citi Field, the Phillies lead it 5-1. 2 men down here in the top of the 7th inning. Rivera comes in to play third base as part of the double switch. Flores will move from third base over to first base. That means that Rivera will bat 9th. And Jim Henderson in the pitcher spot will be in the 7 spot. Henderson 1-2, an ERA of 4.50, and he will face Maikel Franco. As we move on here in the top of the 7th inning, the Phillies have already scored 4.
Fourth pitcher of the inning, and the second one is still responsible for the runners on the bases.
Yeah, Robles has given up 1 run so far and is responsible for the runners at first and second. You could basically close the line on Blevins. He went 2/3 scoreless and struck out 1. And Franco, who today is 1 for 3, takes a fastball, 0-1.
Probably not going to do it here with 2 outs, but what a candidate to really steal a bag on. Henderson, he's a big man. Extremely high leg kick.
Yeah, just slow with that high leg kick,
very
too.
slow.
Popped him up. Darno off with the mask. That'll be back into the seats. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Maikel Franco. Gesellman, who started this inning, was in his 7th inning of work. He went 6+ today. He charged with 4 runs, 7 hits. We mentioned Robles. Things sort of unraveled for him thanks to the double by A.J. Ellis.
That's about as close as we're going to get a foul ball in here.
Odd angle with the roof the way it is, the cover of the upper deck in front of us. have to be a perfect angle. Swing and a miss. He went after a high fastball. Phillies will lead 2, but they score 4 in the inning. The new guy, A.J. Ellis, says, hey, how you guys doing? Let me rip this double over the head of Curtis Granderson. That drove in 2. He eventually scored. Phillies lead at 5-1 as we go to the bottom of the 7th. That as well, right, Ben?
Of course.
We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Phillies up 5-1. Eddie Ramos will be the new pitcher. Every time the Phillies pitchers retire the opposition 1-2-3, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. Well, give some credit to David Hernandez because it was important for him to pitch the bottom of the 6th inning effectively because Vince Velasquez could not get deep into this game. And now you've got it set up with a 4-run lead that you can go with Ramos, Neris, and Genmar Gomez. 3 of your more effective relief pitchers. For Ramos, he's 1-1, an ERA of 3.76.
He has been good recently. We've seen that velocity come up as well. Using all his pitches effectively.
Well, he will face T.J. Rivera as we begin the bottom of the 7th inning. Phillies have made no other adjustments defensively. Ramos is just finishing up his warm-up tosses because of Take Me Out to the Ball Game and God Bless America, which was sung by Queen V. The musical artist did a beautiful job with today's God Bless America.
Very nice. They must have had a New York City geography class in Mississippi State for Marshall. What do you think?
Well, he might have read some books. Might have seen Spider-Man. Here's Rivera as we start the bottom of the 7th inning. 9 outs to go for the Phils to get a victory in this series against the Mets. So Rivera yesterday. He was just added back to the roster with the injury to Justin Ruggiano. Takes the first pitch strike. It's 0-1. There's David Wright, who was part of a program today before the ball game, not on the field, where he answered questions from season ticket holders. He's been working out down in Port St. Lucie and here, trying to get his back into playing shape. If he's ever able to do that, I don't think anybody knows. It's not going to be this year. One ball and one strike. Popped him up. On the right side, Tommy Joseph comes running down. What a way. Time to get updated on what's going on around baseball. Here's Greg Murphy.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. It is our greater coverage of baseball presented by T-Mobile, and the Red Sox will be without Dustin Pedroia tonight when they take on the Kansas City Royals in Boston, and that's a big deal. He has been red hot, and when I say red hot, about as hot as you can get. His last 3 games, he had 11 straight hits. 11 straight hits and 11 at-bats, and that is one shy of the Major League record, but he's tending to a family matter, so he will not be in tonight's lineup for the Red Sox. Also, some news coming out of Los Angeles, or more likely Oklahoma City, where Yasiel Puig is now playing right now in AAA. He has been placed on trade waivers, according to several reports around Major League Baseball. Most likely, someone will claim him. They'll pull him back and try to work out a deal. Most players get put on waivers this time of the year, but you talk about a fall from grace. Yasiel Puig, one of the hot young players in all of baseball over the last couple of years, and now in AAA and being talked about being traded at this point. So a very interesting developments for the Los Angeles Dodgers.
OPS down in AAA is 9th among qualified hitters since he was sent down. So he's done some things to keep his swing going. It'd be interesting, though, see if Murph is right. If somebody does claim him and the Dodgers just say, all right, take him, instead of working out a deal. I mean, at this point, they'd probably work out a deal. 1 ball and no strikes. But how the mighty have fallen in such a short period of time.
Yep.
Wilmer Flores, the batter. He's 0 for 2, and he's 1 for 3. Lines that one past Maikel Franco. A 2-out single here in the 7th inning. Kelly Johnson now the batter. And the Pedroia story, Murph was talking about him missing today. There's a chance he misses tomorrow as well for the Red Sox. The Red Sox are a game out in the American League East. And 3 up in the wild card. No balls and 1 strike. Back toward the middle, right at Freddie Galvis. So he's up with it. And a very clean, easy inning for Eddie Ramos. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left for the Mets. On to the 8th inning here at Citi Field. The Phillies lead it 5-1. The River Tour to Citizens Bank Park on Wednesday, September 7th and Friday, September 9th. This is the song he's opened his last 2 shows with, New York City Serenade. New inventory of great seats have just been released for both shows. Tickets are available starting at $68 and can be purchased by visiting Phillies.com/Springsteen. The song was first recorded in 1973. It's incredible to think that he is still performing at his age and performing beautiful.
And for 4 hours.
And for nearly 4 hours. The last couple of shows. He's back in New Jersey on Tuesday. Tommy Joseph swings at the 1-0 against Jim Henderson. Kelly Johnson grabs it out of the air. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Toyota. The annual clearance sale is going on now. Toyota, let's go places. By Jefferson. Call 800-JEFF now or visit jefferson.edu. And by Chevrolet. Visit your local dealer at chevydealer.com. Along with Ben Davis and Greg Murphy, I'm Tom McCarthy. Matt Stairs will join us tomorrow at Citizens Bank Park. We'll have our 3-man booth. Matt is venturing back from Canada as we speak. Had his big golf tournament last Sunday and Monday. That went well. Aaron Altair is the batter.
These hitters are taking a lot of fastballs for strikes. I'm not saying fastballs that are on the corners. I mean fastballs that are good to hit.
Off the hands, and that'll be out of play behind home plate. And strike 3 call. Second strikeout for Henderson. Two outs here in the 8th inning. And Jimmy Paredes has had a nice day. 2 hits and 3 at-bats. He will be the batter.
Double down the right field line to drive in the Phillies' first run. Line drive to left field, his last at bat.
Runs a fastball out, 1-0. One ball, 1 strike to Paredes. And again out of play. So 3 balls, 2 strikes to Paredes here in the top of the 8th inning. Hector Neris is all warmed up and ready to go in the Phillies bullpen.
Jimmy upset with himself. He missed that last one.
There's Hector in the shade. That one's hit well out towards center field. Diaz is on the run. He's going to get to the spot, but 3 balls today hit right on the nose by Paredes. He's got a couple hits to show for it, an RBI and a run scored. Phillies go down in order. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th. The 2016 season will begin tomorrow at 7:05. It's game 1 of a 3-game series. All 3 games are night games. You can get tickets at Phillies.com. As we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, Hector Neris will take over after a scoreless inning by Ramos. Neris a 2.20 earned run average. And he'll face Jay Bruce, who has struck out twice today. 6 strikeouts in the series. And he rips that one foul down the right field line. Tommy Joseph nearly caught that ball because he's covering the line over at first.
That'd been nice. Seen the velocity on that splitter come up as well, but not the action on it.
Off the hands, bloop down the left field line. Foul. By the way, speaking of the Nationals coming to town,
yes.
See that Daniel Murphy is no longer the leader in the clubhouse in batting average in the National League.
Really?
DJ LeMahieu has passed him. LeMahieu has 1 percentage point better in the batting average category. To go back and look, but I think Murphy has been sitting atop the leaderboard in batting average. It's got to be since the middle of June, if not before that.
Yeah, I would say before that. He's been hot all year.
Swing and a miss. He got it with a splitter. 7 strikeouts in this series for Jay Bruce.
And they are letting him hear it.
They sure are.
It's one of the most devastating pitches that I've seen. It really is.
I don't want to sound greedy or anything like that, but I'd love to see what he does with it next year. You know, if he can duplicate it and keep it going.
I grabbed the bat out of the bat bag yesterday, and I'm just, feeling it. Like to just see what kind of different models that guys use. And Hector was walking up the steps. I said, throw me that split. He said, you sinker. I go, oh, another broken bat.
Well, Hector is currently 8th among relief pitchers in earned run average in the National League. Ground ball right side. Galvis playing on that right side. Little spin. 6-3 on the putout. Shortstop to first. And 2 outs. Why would he throw you a sinker?
Because I can't hit it.
All right, tuck it away for your comeback.
Good play by Freddie there. I think we just get so accustomed to him making these plays that that was a very good play.
Under control.
Yeah, and he made it look easy.
So now De Aza, who is 1 for 3 in this ball game, takes a split for a strike. 0-1.
Probably thinking, why would I waste a good split on a rum-dum like you?
I bet you if there's 2 strikes, he's still going to throw you the split.
I would concur.
Easy inning for Hector Neris. He throws 11 pitches and retires the Mets in order. We are on to the 9th inning. Phillies up by 4. Josh Smoker is the new pitcher for the Mets. And he is on to face A.J. Ellis and Freddie Galvis. Now the pitcher's spot with Genmar Gomez warming up in the bullpen for the Phils. Smoker pitched in yesterday's ball game. Good fastball. Well, A.J. Ellis has provided the big hit today. This is back in the 7th inning.
2-1 fastball. Nice short swing. Short hops off the left field wall. Score Joseph and Altair. Nice swing there by A.J. Ellis. Welcome to the Phillies.
6th double of the year for Ellis. His first hit as a Philly.
Sure he'll get a call or a text from his buddy Clayton Kershaw.
Way to contribute. Well, Carlos had a base hit in his first game with the Dodgers. Carlos actually reached base safely his first 3 times in that game with the Dodgers. Ellis loops that one out toward left. Granderson curls in to make the catch. 1 pitch, 1 away here in the 9th inning. And here's Freddie Galvis with 1 down. Galvis is 1 for 2. He doubled in the 3rd. He hit one back to the pitcher, and he was intentionally walked. Manny Burris is out in the on-deck circle to pinch hit. There's Genmar. So at a Major League scoreboard, Josh Donaldson has hit 3 home runs today. Blue Jays go on to win this ball game. They're 19-2 when he homers in a game. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Galvis strikes out for the 2nd out. And Emmanuel Burris will pinch hit for Hector Neris. Swing and a miss by Burris. Another nice job by Neris. The thing about Hector Neris is that recently most of his outings are either less than 10 pitches or just a hair above 10 pitches. It's been total domination. Liner foul, and it's now 1-2 to Emmanuel Burris.
Hector's just been able to get ahead of hitters so well, whether that be with the get me over split or the fastball, but his fastball command has gotten a lot better as well. Now I think guys are really starting to sit on that splitter, and he's just throwing fastballs by guy or jamming guys. I hope Peter's wrist is okay.
Yeah, we have not received a report just yet. I keep peeking down to the dugout to see if he's roaming around at all. I haven't seen him in the last couple innings.
I'm sure he's got a bag of ice on it.
1-2 to Burris. And he taps it foul, and it remains 1-2. That's what happened to Borges in the 7th inning. It forced in a run. Yeah. Right in the arm.
So that pitch was at 96.
96 miles an hour. Swing and a miss, and Burris strikes out. It's a 1-2-3 top of the 9th inning for the Phillies. But the Phils have a 4-run lead as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Jedmar Gomez, it's not a save situation, but he's on to get the last 3 outs when we come back.
A 5-1 lead, trying to get one win out of this series before heading back to Philadelphia, where they'll welcome the Washington Nationals to town. Here's the pitching matchup for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. All games at 7:05. Tanner Roark and Jake Thompson will take the ball on Monday. On Tuesday, it'll be Max Scherzer versus Jared Eichhoff. And then on Wednesday night, there are left-handers. Gio Gonzalez will go for the Nats, and it'll be Adam Morgan for the Phillies. But 5-1 here, guys. This one's not over yet.
Well, hopefully, Murph, it's over in about 10 minutes as Jedmar Gomez warms up out on the mound. He's not going to get a save if he closes this one out, but the Phils will get that much-needed victory, and it would be their 60th victory of the season. Now, to kind of put that in perspective, if you want to base it on last year, the Phillies did not win their 60th game until the 29th of September last year. So trying to pick up win number 60 a month earlier, month and a day. That's progress. Rene Rivera will be the pinch hitter for the Mets as he pinch hits here in the 9th inning for the pitcher's spot. It'll be Rivera, then d'Arnaud, and TJ Rivera. No balls and 1 strike to Rivera, who's hitting .227 with 5 homers and 24 runs batted in. Does have a pinch hit home run during his career. Takes a fastball. It's 0-2. But it has not been the best week for the Phils, dating back to last Sunday's 9-0 loss to the Cardinals. However, they win their 60th game of the year, and they move to 1 game over 500 in August. with the tough Nationals coming in. Try to change up, and it misses low. 2-2. Over to first base on one hop. Tommy Joseph has it on the awkward bounce. 1 out. Don't forget, coming up after the ball game, Ricky Bottalico is standing by to try to break this baby down. The Phils and the Mets, final game of this 3-game series. He'll talk about Vince Velasquez. Really struggled the first couple of innings. Wasn't bad at the end of the second, beginning of the third, then struggled again with a high pitch count. That's only on Cure Auto Insurance presents Phillies post-game live, and that's coming up as soon as this ball game is over with. Travis d'Arnaud, the hitter. d'Arnaud today is 1 for 3.
I think that was really that close. He jumping out of the way like that.
It's close to being a strike. TJ Rivera is in the on-deck circle to bat for the Mets. Fly ball left center field. Pretty deep. Playable for Herrera, though. And there are 2 outs. Took a peek to see where that fence was. So the bullpen so far has allowed 2 hits over 3 2/3. And now Rivera will be the hitter. Two balls and no strikes. Two and one. Just a bit low, so 3 straight hitters, 3 ball counts for Genmar Gomez. He's come back to get the last 2 batters. I do believe Larry Bowa is getting on Ted Barrett in the third base dugout.
He would never.
Three and 2. Ground ball to shortstop. This should do it. Galvis is up with it, throws across the diamond in time, and the Phils have taken the final game of this 3-game series. They win it 5-1 this afternoon against the New York Mets. Well, we mentioned they had to keep the Mets in the ballpark, and they did that this afternoon. And the bullpen did a fantastic job. After Vince Velasquez was only able to go 5 innings, the bullpen was able to close it out. David Hernandez was able to pick up the win. The big blow, though, for the Phillies in their 4-run inning was A.J. Ellis's 2-run double that opened up the scoring for the Phils. And speaking of A.J. Ellis, his double is our W.B. Mason delivery of the game.
Gets a fastball off Hansel Robles. Shoots it to left field. Short hops left field wall to score Joseph and Aaron Altair. Or Jimmy Praise, I should say. Beautiful job there by A.J. Ellis. That is your W.B. Mason delivery of the game. Nice to see A.J. Ellis come through. It's a big spot for him. Bases loaded. Gets a pitch that he can handle. And he made the adjustments from that first pitch, which he kind of overswung with Robles. Good fastball. He caught up to it. But he is your Chevrolet player of the game, and he is with our very own Greg Murphy. Murph, take it away.
All right, thank you very much, Ben. Yeah, here with A.J. Ellis. And you only get that one chance to make a first impression, so you might as well hit a double with the bases loaded to help your team win the first. I would imagine that felt pretty good as soon as it left your bat.
Yeah, I mean, it was great to come up in that situation. The guys in front of me battling hard to get on base, and just got a good count to put a good swing on a ball, and fortunately, got it over the outfielder's head, and we got a little lead.
It's been a whirlwind of the last 48, 72 hours, however long it's been. But you've only been in New York for 24 hours. But Pete said he wanted to get you in there. He wanted to get you in uniform behind the plate and part of this team. Did that, help settle maybe things down for you?
It's always great to get out and play baseball. It was great to get out there behind the plate. Great to work with Vince. And the bullpen arms were just outstanding those last 4 innings. Those guys, when the Phillies get a lead, I mean, we're a pretty dangerous club late in the game with those guys coming in late. So great to be a part of it today. Great to get a win, and I'm excited to get back to Philly.
You mentioned yesterday that part of what you'll be asked to do is to, kind of impart some wisdom on some of these young players, Vince Velasquez being one of those guys. What were the conversations like today when you started off a little slow, but then he was able to pick it up?
Yeah, he really settled in nice. It was a battle the first couple innings, but, it's all about limiting the damage. The traffic was out there. The guys were everywhere, but he was able to make pitches when he needed to. And